Okay, the meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order. Will you please rise and follow Commissioner Spatos as he leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right hand over your heart. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the Secretary please call roll?
Commissioner Owens is absent. Commissioner Frometta.
Present.
Commissioner Spathopoulos.
Present.
Vice Chair Duarte.
Present.
And Chair Dominguez is absent.
Okay. Will those in the audience please read the cover page of the agenda as it outlines the procedures which the Commission will follow. This is a time set aside for oral communications for the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to express an announcement or report on a conference or a meeting or request items for a future agenda? Commissioner Frometta?
None.
Commissioner Bastos?
None.
And I have none. Okay. Is the Director of Community Development aware of any presentations for tonight?
Vice Chair Duarte, no presentations tonight.
Okay. Does the Director of Community Development have any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda tonight, Vice Chair Duarte.
All right. Does the Director of Community Development have a report on City Council actions?
No reports tonight, Vice Chair Duarte.
All right, we're breezing along. Now is the time set aside for public hearings. The public hearing for case PLN 19-00033 is now open. Does the Secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Will the Director of Community Development introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Vice Chair Duarte. Tonight we have our Associate Planner, Alfonso Hernandez, to provide the presentation.
Good evening, Commissioner Duarte and members of the Planning Commission. Tonight you're being asked to consider a special event permit for a one-day carnival to be held at 12808 Woodruff Avenue. The applicants are Calvary Chapel of Downey, and the event is in celebration of the 40th anniversary of their school. This event is exactly similar in size and length to many others the church has held in the past. This is an area of the subject property outlined in red at the southeast corner of Woodruff Avenue and Imperial Highway. The lot is 3.31 acres and consists of a church, school, administrative offices, a playground, and parking lot. The parcel outlined in yellow is the chapel store and cafe. It is a restaurant and retail use, also owned by the church. This parcel will provide an extra driveway that will be used to provide access in and out of the site. This is the corresponding zoning for the subject property and nearby area. The bold outline parcel is the subject property zone C2. To the north is Columbus High School and the Downey Adult School, split zoned R1 and C2. To the east is the large multifamily development zone R3. To the west are R1 properties developed with single family homes, and to the south is an empty lot running adjacent to the 105 freeway zoned R1. The event will take place on Saturday, March 23rd from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is a 4-hour event. The activities will consist of inflatable rides, a train ride, game booths, live entertainment, food sales, among other things. The estimated amount of attendance is 3,000 people, and the site has 505 parking spaces. This is the proposed site plan. The event will be staged at the northern portion of the church's parking lot along Imperial Highway. The red outlined area will be used for parking. The site can be accessed by vehicle at 4 separate driveways along Woodruff Avenue. Those driveways are located here, 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 and here. And the only entrance to the event is through the parking lot here. This is a proposed layout of the event. There will be booths and rides mostly located to the east of the space and a stage with live entertainment located to the west of the area. There is one entrance. It is accessed from the parking area, again, here. And there are multiple opportunities for egress along Imperial Highway in case of an emergency. The stage and generators are positioned mostly to the west of the event area. This was done on purpose to divert noise, crowds, and other potential impacts away from the neighboring residential properties. The Development Review Committee met on March 7th. In regards to security, the event was conditioned to have 10 security guards. However, the applicants are providing 14. When discussing noise, again, the stage is placed furthest from the abutting residential properties, and any speakers and music associated with the rides must be directed and facing away from the neighboring residential properties. Aside from that, no other departments expressed concerns over the event and proposed and issued standard conditions of approval. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that the findings can be made in a positive manner, and this ends my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fermetta, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Spatos?
No questions.
Just one, this is a yearly event, correct?
It is not a yearly event, but it is similar to ones they've done in the past. The last event, they used to have annual Halloween festivals. The last one they had was in 2013.
Okay. And it's the setup and
Layout, activities similar. Amount of people similar.
all right, thank you. No further questions. Before I call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for any planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing visit, pre-hearing discussions, or commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Spatos?
No, none.
Commissioner Fermetta?
None.
And I have none. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward and give testimony? Can you state your name and address for the record?
Suzette Ochoa, my home address or work address,
Either work address, fine.
12808 Woodruff Avenue, Downey, California, 90242.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the event?
We're celebrating 40 years of our school, so this has been in the city of Downey since celebrating 1979 to currently, so this is a big event that we wanted to invite all of our church members and school, student, parents, families to, and also those in the community that have supported us.
Okay. Do any commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
I don't. Just congratulations on
Thank you.
40-year anniversary. This is a free event. That's my only question.
Yes.
Mr. Spatos?
No questions. It looks great. Looks like fun. I look forward to going with my kids.
Thank
It looks
you.
fun. It looks like you have it all planned out. Are you really expecting 3,000 people, or is that like a projection?
A
Just curious.
projection. We do have a large
Okay.
church with multiple services, so pretty much around 5,000 church members, and our school has over 500 students, along with a preschool also.
Nice. Okay.
Congratulations on your 40th year,
Thank you.
and I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
No correspondence.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the applicant? Okay, seeing nobody. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes. Staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt a resolution approving special event permit PLN-19-00033.
Okay. The hearing on PLN-19-00033 is now closed. Commissioners, you would like to discuss? Any
No
remarks?
questions.
No remarks? I think this is glad that the applicant actually went above and beyond and had 14 security guards over the 10 proposed. I'm definitely in favor of passing this resolution. So those are my comments. All right, with the pleasure, what's the pleasure of the Planning Commission? May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Okay. It has moved and seconded to approve case PLN 19-0033. Could we have a vote?
The vote is now open. Please place your votes. The motion passes to adopt PLN 19-0033 for a Calvary Chapel special event. Passes by a vote of 3 in favor and 2 absent.
Okay. Congratulations. Now we have okay. The time set aside for public for the public hearing for PLN -18-00189. Does the secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Will the Director of Community Development introduce the staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Vice Chair Duarte. Tonight, we have our Principal Planner, Guillermo Arreola, to provide our presentation.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Planning Commission, is an application for a conditional use permit to approve a private school of 65 students at Downey Memorial Christian Church at 8441 Florence Avenue. The operator, Around the World Children's Center, will be operating the school at this location. They are currently on the corner of Lakewood Boulevard and Cherokee Drive. They've been in operation in the city of Downey for 22 years, with the last 8 being at their current location. The property is located just west of the intersection of Florence Avenue and Brookshire Avenue in the CP zone. The school will be located at the rear of the property and will include a preschool for 35 children ages 2 to 4, an elementary school for 30 children ages 4 to 8, and 8 staff members. The school will include, and this is the proposed location, the school will include 5 classrooms, 4 restrooms, an office, a kitchen, a storage room, and an outdoor play area. The hours of operation are from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Classes start at 8:30 a.m. and end at 2:50 p.m. The 2 schools will have 2 recesses and 1 lunch period each. The proposed school will also include an outdoor play area. We'll have some outdoor equipment in the larger of the 2 play areas and measure approximately 3,000 square feet. It will also be enclosed with a 48-inch high fence. Due to the potential for noise associated with outdoor activity, staff has conditioned the project to prohibit the parking lot, driveway area parking lot, to be used as an outdoor, for any outdoor activities. Bouncing balls, screams will echo on an asphalt surface much louder than they will on a relatively small grassy area. There's a condition that staff would also like to add with respect to noise that is not in your resolution now, but staff would also like to add a condition that would prohibit student access to the north and west landscaped areas, so that we maintain the adjacent property's privacy, both privacy and noise. The site includes 75 parking spaces. The school will require 8 parking spaces based on 1.5 parking spaces required per classroom. Because the church and the school will operate at different times, there's no conflict in the use of parking spaces. So this will be the proposed drop-off area for the students. Fortunately, this site is developed with the perfect driveway for a school. How many times do we go to a school and there's queuing problems? Well, here we have about 330 feet to this point of access to this site. You go in this way and you exit this way. Now, typically for a regular school, that may not even be enough queuing. However, this school is only 65 students. Drop-off times for this school begin as early as 6:30, and classes start at 8:30. So, according to the applicant, drop-off times are staggered. Sure, you get people that drop off at 6:30, but you also have people that drop off, right when class is about to start. So, in terms of queuing issues, any on-site circulation problems, we don't anticipate any because of the long stacking area that this site is improved with. Also, Brookshire Avenue has the ability to turn left from this turning lane, and you can make a U-turn here as well. So staff does not anticipate any problems with on-site circulation or off-site circulation. Staff ran this by the different departments for comments during the DRC meeting on December 27th, and none had any issues. They all provided standard comments, standard conditions of approval. We double-checked with Public Works, and again, because of the small school size, the long queuing capacity on site, they did not anticipate any off-site problems. So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Commissioner Spatos, do you have any questions?
I don't know if this is a question for you or maybe the applicant, but on that, I think it was a third slide.
Sure.
You had mentioned a little play area.
That one? Oops, sorry.
Yeah, that one there. I don't know, maybe it's the dad in me coming out. That looks a little, as far as from a safety standard, like are there pillars going up? Is it enclosed? Is there a wall? Is there anything? Or is it going to be just open to cars parking right up until that?
According to the, sorry, the applicant has indicated, and the plans indicate that there's going to be a 48-inch fence around the entire play area.
Like a block fence?
I believe it's wrought iron. However, you may want to ask the applicant because they did not provide that exact detail.
I believe there's a condition, condition number 8, that states the same, that the play area shall be fenced with a 48-high fence.
So it doesn't specify
Doesn't
concrete
specify
wrought
that,
iron.
no.
Okay. That's all.
Commissioner Fermetta?
I had a question in regards to, I didn't hear the comment 100% in regards to the fence. You said in the back side to the neighborhood? Right there? On the north side? I'm sorry, the
West side?
west side. What was your comment on that?
That we'd like to add a condition that prohibits children access to this portion of the lot to maintain privacy to those adjacent residential neighbors.
So there won't be access to the children back there.
That's the condition that we'd like to add that isn't in the resolution right now.
Okay. My other question is probably for the applicant.
Okay.
Just to follow up on that, what's the distance between that back area and the residence?
Are you talking about the width?
Yeah, in terms of from the west side there?
This width right here?
Yes,
I believe it's 15 feet.
15 feet? Okay. And is that, there's a wall there?
Yes, there's a wall of varying heights along this location, some as low as not even 5 feet. So that was our concern with having children access this rear area.
And then the 65 students, is that a projection or is that a limit for the school?
Based on the applicant's submittal, that was the number of children that they were limiting this school to.
No further questions. Thank you. Before I call and her representative, this would be the time for any planning commissioners to discuss any pre-hearing site visits, pre-hearing discussions commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Fermetta?
Yes, I visited this site.
Okay. Commissioner Spatos?
No questions. No visits. Actually, I'm familiar with it. My mom lives around the corner. I passed by it 100 times, so I know the area very well. I think I voted there a couple times. It actually works really well. It's got a long driveway from what I remember. So.
And I have none myself. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward and give testimony? And for the record, can you say your name and address?
Yes, Suzette Cortez, 10441 Lakewood Boulevard.
Thank you. So what do you want, Councilman?
Sandra Bram,
441.
441 Lakewood Boulevard.
Okay. What do you guys want to tell us about the
Well, as mentioned, we've been in business 22 years here in Downey, and we weren't anticipating another move after we relocated to Lakewood Boulevard, but here we are again, and we were lucky to have found the church that is able to house the number of students that we currently have. And yes, that is the number of students that we're moving and that we are also keeping. And well, Ms. Sandy here, she's operates the preschool center, and I operate together with James the elementary center. So we're just excited to start the process. Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Fermetta, do you have any questions?
I do. Welcome.
Thank you.
Just the building, you will be using both stories or just a single, or the first floor?
The first floor, and the projection is the office.
Great. I visited this site, and my concern or my question as a father
Yes.
is security.
Yes.
It's a very long open driveway, which is great for drop-off.
Yes.
It's open on the Florence entrance.
Mm-hmm.
It's open on the Brookshire. There's a driveway right where it says subject site.
Mm-hmm,
That
yes.
also is an entrance to that leads into this property. And there's in the back on the north side of the existing sanctuary seems to be an opening that leads all the way to the very back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking of people just they can freely walk into the property. How are you planning in securing and protecting the children?
Of course, security is obviously our priority, and safety. As for the classes, of course, the number of staff that we have in there is going to be more than enough to make sure students aren't able to freely leave the classrooms. That's number one. Second, the areas that we are going to be using, such as for play space, those are going to be fenced. We heard the safety and the concern for safety with regards to cars, and if need be, we will definitely put in a block wall with iron just to make it look so not so unfriendly. We want that, so we can definitely do that, and gate any other area that we feel we need to gate for security purposes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to keep in mind security. I know it's
Yes.
very dear to everyone,
Oh, yes.
especially with small children of
Absolutely.
this age.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what we've done where we are. It's Lakewood Boulevard. There's probably more concern there than there is here, because we have the driveway that, I mean, unless you're going to pick up your children, you really don't need to be there. So we're not, I mean, anyone can walk on to the premises. Naturally, that's being shared still with the church, so they have that right to do so, but we take care of the safety needed for our students during the hours of 6:30 to 6 p.m.
You have a security plan?
Well, as mentioned, the gates, I mean, we're fencing. We don't have security on
No, I mean like a security written plan or anything? Guidelines for your staff?
For the staff, yes, of course, yes. The proposed areas that they're allowed to use, and if they have keys to get into the playground space, how it's supposed to be locked when they leave. And more than anything, once they're inside the classrooms, only the persons allowed to walk into the classrooms will be there to pick up children. That's how we've done it for 22 years.
Okay.
And that's checking into the office, which is where Sandra will be, and making sure that only the people needed to be there are going to be entering classrooms.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Espada?
You know, if I can interject real quickly, just to be clear, the request is to only use the first floor of that building. And so if there's an interest in using the second floor of that building, that could be a subsequent submittal. Or if you want to get that approval altogether, then we would have to probably reconsider your application. Your plan state only first floor request, and that's what staff was under the impression of. So once again, if there's been a change, you know, tonight or unbeknownst to staff, if there's been a change, we're open to continuing this item into the future so that we can then assess what those impacts are.
No, the students will be the first floor.
Great, so this request tonight is for the use and the programming of the first floor only?
Yes.
Okay.
Quick question on the release of students. How does it work at that level? Is it parent shows up, pulls around, somebody walks the child out, or is it they're put in a certain area and look for mom and dad when they come out? Like, how do you guys release kids in that area? I'm sure you have different plans at different locations, but in this particular spot, like, how are they working the release of students?
With the age group that we hold, it's always parent gets out of the car, enters the building, drops off, gets out of the car, enters the building, picks up. They sign out. They sign the student out, show ID if it's anyone that we haven't seen, but never do we just walk out children like at public schools where it's more common that we walk outside and wait for parents to arrive.
So
They
each
come
parent
to the
has to
house.
park, get out of their car, come in, sign their child out,
Absolutely.
walk them out.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, they're leaving at staggered times. Some are picked up right after the academic time, especially with the preschool. Some of them are picked up at 6 o'clock when we close because they're there for the daycare. So all 65 are not coming and going at the same time.
Gotcha. Do you currently operate another location, or is this
No,
projected one?
just at Lakewood with them at this time.
And this would be the second location, or is this replacing that
We
one?
would be replacing that one.
Transfer.
That one would be replacing where I am now.
Okay. In terms of, so this location that you're currently at right now, it's right here on Lakewood, right by the post office, correct?
Yes.
Is there 65 students there right now, or is,
Yes.
okay. And is that kind of basically your roof in terms of the students, or?
For this location, yes. For the current location, no. That's the number that we've held in moving forward, 65.
And on this current location, do you have a playground there?
Yes. Well, we have an indoor playground. We have a permit to utilize the back as playtime. So we close the gates between 9:30 and 2:30 p.m.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering, is that area that showing where the playground's going to be and the fence, is that going to be enough room to have a playground, or
Yes,
you think so?
yes. For staggered times, absolutely.
And in terms of the fencing, have you looked into what type of fence is going to go there?
Well, as I mentioned, the plan is the wrought iron, the fence.
Wrought iron? Okay.
But blocks are not a problem if we have to do block fence. I'm not too familiar with what they're called, but fences with blocks or brick.
Our building department will work with them in terms of a fence material and/or type that we believe will provide that type of security. We understand the concern as a car goes into that area at an inopportune time. At the same time, we want to be realistic, and we don't want to put up a block wall fortress in that area.
No.
So we'll make sure that we get something that's safe, for those children that are playing there at that time.
All right. Another
I
question?
have one more question.
Yes,
I know this is a church.
yes,
You'll be using the rear building.
yes,
You are a separate entity.
yes,
Are you going to provide signage to advertise your business?
yes,
Is that part of this packet?
yes.
No. So Guillermo, can you talk to us about how that signage application's going to come in?
Yes, they have to apply for a separate permit for a sign, and they would be allowed a wall sign on the rear building. And the maximum size of that sign is 20 square feet. But it would be done separately aside from this permit.
And that's customary with how we approve uses in our city, in terms of the use comes in, the sign comes in at a later date.
Later date. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
there's that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
None, sir.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the applicant? Okay. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Staff recommends the planning commission adopt the attached resolution approving conditional use permit number PLN-18-00189.
And is the additional resolution, what number is that?
The next resolution number is 19-3085.
And if I could interject, that approval is going to be conditioned upon the additional condition that staff wanted to insert.
Correct.
At an appropriate time, we can provide, you're seeking that language?
Yeah, I was just asking. if
Sure,
that-
not a problem. So, Guillermo, if you can provide us where that number is going to fall and the how that text will read.
Yes, sir. So we'd like to add, it'll be condition number 15 in the planning section. It states, student access will be prohibited along the north and west landscaped areas.
Okay. All right, the hearing on case PLN dash 18-00189 is now closed. Commissioners, you have a discussion on the item? Commissioner Fermetta?
None.
Commissioner Spatos?
Does that, question, does that change our resolution number, or is it just included? The resolution number doesn't change, you just add a condition?
That's correct.
Okay. So it would be, you mentioned it was number 15, we have a 15 under fire.
All the numbers will then change
just goes
sequentially.
Yeah,
Yes. Yep.
That's all.
that is it. Okay. Can we have a vote?
Motion?
Oh,
Motion?
motion, sorry about that. Jumping in. We have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, and we have a second?
The second is by? Just we want to make sure we capture that.
Commissioner Spatos.
Got it.
Okay, the motion passes to adopt Resolution 19-3085 with modified conditions as stated for PLN 18-00189, request for a conditional use permit.
Okay. The action of the planning commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the city council with the appropriate fee within the specified time period as set forth in the city ordinance. Congratulations. All right. And now it's time for the non-agenda public comment. This provides to address a planning commission on items within the jurisdiction of the planning commission and not listed in the agenda. Do we have any non-agenda public comment? All right, seeing none. Going on to the consent calendar.
Vice Chair, if I can interject, in regards to the consent calendar, their approval of minutes, and we don't have a quorum tonight based on the absence of our two commissioners. So our suggestion is that we continue both of those items to the next meeting, which will be April 3rd. So therefore, no matters to act on the consent calendar tonight.
Okay, so we don't have to have a motion on that to continue or table it?
Without objection. You can just deem it continued without
Okay.
objection on that one.
We will continue that to the next hearing date. All right, so other business, do we have any new business, or does the commissioner have any business to discuss? Commissioner Perman? Commissioner Spatos? No? Does the Director of Community Development have any additional comments?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Duarte. I was glad to see the commissioners attend the Planning Commission Academy that was hosted by the League of California Cities a couple weeks ago. Always a good session, always good information, and the information is regional, if not statewide. We get a lot of examples from large cities doing a lot of sophisticated things, mid-sized cities doing sophisticated things as well, but at a smaller level. And we always want to bring it back to how that applies to Downey. And as I was reflecting on that academy and in conversations, I thought it would be really productive to bring in an attorney that does a lot of work with a lot of different planning commissions, and representatives from their firm were actually providing presentations at the academy as well, and that's the firm of Best and Krieger. There you go. Sorry about that. And so what I'm suggesting is that we get our planning commission outside attorney to provide a retreat for us. Nothing dramatic. I'd say 2, maybe 3 hours max, to talk about the roles of the Planning Commission, responsibilities of planning commissioners, how that scope falls into what's happening in the city of Downey, talk about other legal matters in regards to projects and processes that we go through to really hone in specifically on what we do here in Downey. We'd like it in a very informal setting, so we wouldn't have it here in these chambers. I'd suggest that we host it at the Columbia Memorial Space Center, and once again do it on an evening or even a Saturday that works best for the planning commissioners. If the commissioners are in agreement to that, we then can provide a survey in terms of availability and work something out in the next couple of weeks, or actually, excuse me, in the next 60 to, I'd say, 75 days. No vote, just, yeah. I see heads nodding, so I will take that as affirmative. And that's all I have.
Okay. No further items on the agenda. We are adjourned at 11:12. I mean, 7:12. Yeah.